So Pharrell and Jay Z just dropped the track Entrepreneur, which is fully produced by the Neptunes, so Pharrell and Chad Hugo. I don't know if this is leading up to an album by the Neptunes, or if this is just a Lucy, or if this was just one of those tracks that they mentioned that they were working on when they said the Neptunes were back together. Alternatively, it could also just be that they saw that Nas was dropping an album and were like, no, we have to disrupt him every time he drops an album. Drop this now. That's a joke. I don't know how real that is. Anyways, the title of the track is Entrepreneur. Let's go bar for bar and break down these lyrics. It starts off with Pharrell whispering, saying, I am black ambition, I am always whispering. They keep telling me I will not, but my will won't listen. Gravity on a black man with everything on his back and his family and passion if the doors ain't cracking. So this intro part is basically him embodying black ambition, and in this case I believe black ambition is going to be like the entrepreneurship, or like the drive to be an entrepreneur, or more than what people expect you to be. Like, racism keeps things suppressed, and that's kind of what they're going against. And typically your ambition, if you are black, is suppressed because you are black, and the system doesn't want that. The I am always whispering part is just like, it could just be the voice in their heads saying, yo, you gotta do this, you gotta do this. Or it could be the voice in corporate America's head saying, yo, these black people are doing this, like we want this, like put us at the forefront. They keep telling me I will not, which are basically white America saying, no, we're going to keep the black man down. But my will won't listen, meaning he's going to keep pushing no matter what. Or the idea is that all black people will keep pushing. Gravity on a black man with everything on his back and his family and passion. So this is, I don't think it's necessary to say specifically a black man. It could just be a black person, but regardless, the idea is that if you're the head of a household or one of the heads of a household, there's a lot of pressure on you, and especially as a black person, there's a lot weighing on you. Like, you need to be able to support your family, but you also want to be able to support your own personal passion. This then goes into the first chorus where Pharrell's singing, you gotta let go. If you want to fly, take the leap. You gotta risk it all, or there'll be lots of things you'll never see. You gotta let go, because you never know what's in store, Mr. Entrepreneur. That one's pretty straightforward. Like, you just gotta try. Like, don't kind of fall into the trap of like just going through the cycle of normalcy. Like, sometimes you just gotta take a leap of faith, because you don't know what's in store. This goes into Pharrell's first verse, where he says, in this position with no choice, a system imprisoned young black boys, distract with white noise, the brainwashed become hype boys. Third eye dilate, you wasn't supposed to make it off Section 8. Robbing Peter just to pay Paul, prepare to risk everything. Starting at the beginning, in this position with no choice, you didn't choose to be black. Or at least that's what I'm getting from here. The way that black people are treated in America is completely unjust, and that's basically what he's getting at. Like, black people didn't choose to be black and to have to suffer this way. System imprisoned young black boys. That one is a few things. Systemic racism, and the idea that also goes into the idea that black people, when they are arrested for crimes, if they are arrested for crimes, they're typically going to get more jail time for the same crime that a white person did. The other thing is they're going to be more likely arrested for not doing anything. Like, there's the term for it is just arrested for being black. Like, why is that? Like, that's not a crime, and that's not something that you have a choice in the matter. Like, you don't get to choose that if you're black or not, and you don't, because of that, like, you shouldn't have to be imprisoned. The system imprisoning black boys also could be like just the like ideas that are being portrayed to these black boys. Like, these black boys can, like, they're pretty much locked in this one section where they're only they're only able to get fame or money if they ball or if they rap. Like, those are the only two things that are acceptable to white America. But, I mean, the whole point of the song is to kind of push for people to be entrepreneurs. Distract with white noise. So the white noise can be the media, which only shows what they want to show because that's what gets views. I've mentioned it before, but protests are still going on and the media is not talking about it. Second, it could be just the whitewashing of cultures, basically making it so that other cultures want to be white, to be accepted, basically assimilate into white culture. And it could also just be gentrification. That harms way more people than people assume it does. The brainwash become hype boys, that one I'm not entirely sure. I believe what that means is just like the people who are consuming this white noise become like hype people for these systems. That one I'm not too sure of. Third eye dilate. So when you dilate your eyes, the pupil gets bigger. What that can also mean is that when your pupil gets bigger, it lets in more light. So like at nighttime, your eyes dilate because you want to be able to see better at night. Third eye dilating is, your third eye is like your spiritual eye, your more wholesome eye, or I don't want to say holy, but like your whole, spiritual is probably a good word for it. Yeah, so you have your spiritual eye open, and your spiritual eye is going to basically be the one that leads you to what's right. So by dilating your third eye, you're letting in more light, and by letting in more light, you're able to see more. So you have a wider scope on things. And basically they're saying, if you're brainwashed or if you're listening to this white noise, you gotta let your third eye dilate to kind of let it in, but also see past it. He wasn't supposed to make it off Section 8. The system doesn't want you to get off Section 8. If you are a black person in America and you're on Section 8, they don't want you to come out of it. Rob and Peter just debate Paul. That one I'm not too sure of either. The only thing that I really found when looking it up was Peter Paul Rubin, who was an artist in the 1600s, as well as Peter Paul, who was a actor back in the 80s, I believe. Prepare to risk it all. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. This then goes back into the chorus, where we add a little bit more to it. So he goes, you need to let go. If you want to fly, take the leap. You gotta risk it all, or there'll be lots that you'll never see. Remember, black is space, and it's the color of your face. There'll be no sunny days if black went away. So the first bit's the same, but remember, black is space. So space is black. So black is everywhere. And because black is part of space, that's one way of him tying in sunny days, because if there's no space, there's no sun, and there's no life. But it could also just be more on the nose, like there will be no sunny days if black went away, meaning the black culture is just so important in America. Like, if you were to go back and just for whatever reason, like, remove black people from America, let's keep it there, like, American culture would be so different. Like, it wouldn't have any, like, it would look completely different. The music would be different, the entertainment would be different, the sports would be different. Like, there's so much more. But the way he's saying it is, if black went away, like, I mean, people won't be happy because none of these things would exist, or none of these things would be happening anymore. Then it gets into a refrain where Pharrell repeats black man 48 times. I counted. But then he goes into, don't go chasing waterfalls. Please stick to the drip that you're used to. They don't make them like they used to. This is basically just straight from Waterfalls from by TLC. basically the idea of don't go chasing these lofty goals without kind of analyzing the consequences. This goes into Jay Z's verse, which starts off with lies told to you through YouTubes and Hulus, shows with no hues that look like you do. Black Twitter, what's that? When Jack gets paid, do you? For every one Gucci, support two Fubus. Sipping Coca-Cola, consumer and a owner, till we all vertically integrated from the floor up. Do say pour up, face till I throw up. Like gang signs, I bang mines for both ya. Serial entrepreneur, we own our own stop. Sitting round waiting for folks to throw you a bone. If you can't buy the building, at least stock the shelf. Then keep on stacking till you stocking for yourself. See, everything you place after black is too small a term to completely describe the act. Black nation, black builder, black entrepreneur, you in the presence of black excellence, I'm on board, Lord. And then he repeats Lord a few times, and God a few more times. So, Jay-Z's verse is there's a lot more to it. So, first, lies told to you through YouTubes and Hulus. Don't believe everything you see. Pretty straightforward. I mean, I think he's just using YouTubes and Hulus just because it sounds good, but it's kind of like, and we're in this internet age where everyone has a voice. So make sure that you're basically cross-checking what you see and hear. Like, don't limit yourself to one singular choice or source. Like, go to multiple sources. Shows no hues that look like you do. So this ties into that previous line, the through YouTubes and Hulu. But with this, he's directly referencing these older racist cartoons where, I mean, I don't have to explain it. I mean, they made a caricature of black people, which nowadays everyone would see and be like, oh, no, you can't do that. But back in the day, they were totally fine with it. So he's basically saying, like, bringing that idea up to remind you that this racism still exists even in YouTube and Hulu. Like, it's not just limited to back in the day. It's still here. Black Twitter, what's that? When Jack gets paid, do you? So, Black people Twitter is its own community, and it really supplies most of the internet's content and all the memes, really. And they obviously don't get paid for being black people on Twitter, but he's saying, Jack Dorsey, who's the CEO, does. Like, he gets paid no matter what. So, do you get paid for using his platform? No, most likely not. But, it's more of like a thought put out there. He's like, maybe instead of basically giving away your content for free, try to find some way to monetize it. For every one Gucci, support two Fubus. Basically, support black businesses. Fubu is for us, by us, and Gucci is not. Sipping Coca-Cola, consumer and owner, till we've all vertically integrated from the floor up. So Coca-Cola is this cola that I think Killer Mike helped make on his trigger warning show on Netflix. And basically he's saying he's encouraging black ownership and black businesses. And then he mentions the vertical integration. Basically what that means is that you're setting up your company and your business in a way so that you obviously own the business, but you also own the supply chain. So every step of the way, you're essentially just paying yourself. So you're the producer and the supplier. And that's a great way to run business, because then there's the only person to pay is yourself. And obviously your employees, but you know what I mean? Like, you don't have a big corporation looming over you like, hey man, where's my money? Hey, you can't do that until I get my money, right? And then he throws in, do say pour up, sip ace till I throw up, like gang signs have mind bangs for both ya. So, do say and ace of spades are both liquors that Jay Z is an owner of. So he's basically giving you more examples of these black-owned businesses. And the throw-up line goes to gang signs. Like, he's throwing up gang signs, which means he's throwing up ace of spades and do say, because I don't know if you noticed, but ever since he started owning part of it, he's been mentioning it a lot. So, I mean, if you're not going to throw up your own company, who is? Like, why not promote yourself? Serial entrepreneur, we own our own stop. Jay Z is just on the streak. Like, currently, this is where he's at. I mean, he has Tidal, and I know he has more stuff that it's less known. I mean, he's a billionaire, so he has other sources of income. Basically, he's on this, he has an addiction to entrepreneurship. Like, he just has to keep doing this. And it's good for him because it's working out, right? Even if Tidal wasn't making money for a while, like, it's still a black-owned business. Sit around waiting for folks to throw you a bone. If you can't buy the building, at least stock the shelf. Then keep on stacking until you stock it for yourself. So that again goes into the vertical integration. First, it starts off with sitting around for folks to throw you a bone. Don't wait for people to help you out. Sometimes you just gotta get up and do it on your own. And then if you can't buy the building, at least stock the shelf. Basically, you just gotta work your way up sometimes. Like, sometimes you gotta start at the very bottom. And then, who knows, one day you'll own the whole building and maybe the company. So, like, keep on stacking your money till you stock in for yourself, meaning you're supplying your own product to consumers. So again, you're the product or you're the producer and the supplier. The line where he goes, see everything you place after black is too small a term to completely describe the act. Black nation, black builder, black entrepreneur. You in the presence of black excellence, I'm on the board. Basically he's saying the words that we like add after black aren't bigger than black, is what he's getting at. Adding these terms, nation, builder, entrepreneur, after the word black, just don't fully encapsulate what like that person or those people are about. Like, you have a black builder, but that might be his profession or might be what he's known for, but that's not all he is. Like, at least that's what I think he's going for. He's trying to say that we're more than just the labels that are put on us. And then specifically for black people, like, black people are more than just the label that is added after black. Like, you can be a black builder, you can be a black entrepreneur, but you're still more than that, which most people just kind of forget. Overall, this track was interesting. I didn't like it on my first couple listens because I didn't like Pharrell whispering. And then I also didn't really like that Pharrell was on his more singing sort of sound rather than his rapping sound. But, I mean, it is what it is. However, when Jay Z's verse came on and the beat switched, like, obviously I was all ears. Jay Z definitely went really deep into like what he wanted to talk about. He's focused very, very hard on the entrepreneur aspect of this song and how it's important to work and own your own things. Pharrell's verse was more of just kind of a broad idea. Like, he did say a lot in his very short verse. Like, his verse was only 8 bars. Like, it's a very short verse, but he said a lot in that verse. So it's, there's more structure to it than what you might just think. Like, because I feel like most people, when they first listen to it, like, ignoring the chorus and the refrain, like, they're probably just not even going to really pay attention to what Pharrell's saying. Like, Pharrell is saying a lot of things here, and it's more focused on the state of black people in America rather than just focusing in on entrepreneurs. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I got to say about this. Let me know in the comments below if I missed anything, because I'm sure I did. And also, like and subscribe if you want to see more breakdowns like this. Anyways, thank you for watching, and please stay safe out there.